Welcome back. Now, today marks the 75th year since the first ever deployment of the United Nations peacekeepers, otherwise known as the Blue Helmets. Since their creation, they've worked in numerous conflict zones like Sudan, Burundi, Ivory Coast, Liberia, the DR Congo, and Ethiopia and Eritrea. Over 4,200 peacekeepers have lost their lives since that first deployment. And today, those men and women and all those who have served in the Corps were remembered at a ceremony at the UN headquarters in New York. My colleague Ikaba Koyi.
A moment of silence as UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, hundreds of uniformed military officers and diplomats remember the thousands of peacekeepers who have given their lives to the cause of peace since the UN authorized its first military deployment in 1948. 103 peacekeepers died last year alone. The force is made up of military personnel, also referred to as the Blue Helmets, on the ground from national armies across the globe. Today, around 87,000 women and men are serving in conflict zones across Africa, the Middle East, Asia and Europe. The list of those that have regained stability is long. That's according to the UN. They include Cambodia, Sierra Leone and Angola in the 1990s and early 2000s.
But it must be stressed that one of the main reasons these results were achieved was that the international community was much more united at the time.
The Blue Helmets are not deployed to fight wars, but keeping the peace inevitably can involve conflict. In some African countries like Mali and the Democratic Republic of Congo, there are reportedly not enough peacekeepers to halt reoccurring cycles of violence, so African governments, including Mali's, are turning to private security firms like Russia's Wagner Group to fight insurgents. Looking ahead, the current state of global politics means it's getting harder for the Blue Helmets to achieve their ultimate objective of stabilization.
Today we suffer from the fact that our member states are divided. It is true that the Security Council continues to renew the mandates of peacekeeping operations. At the same time, we need greater unity among our member states, so they can actively and unitedly influence the implementation of peace agreements and political processes.
The UN mission is still striving to attain peace in countries such as the Democratic Republic of Congo, India and Pakistan, while preserving ceasefires in southern Lebanon and Cyprus. Although criticised for its efforts in maintaining peace and order in conflict zones, UN peacekeepers are now fighting an uphill battle with new drivers of conflict, including trafficking, drugs, weapons, the illegal exploitation of natural resources, as well as the impacts of climate change. But the mission to implement peace remains the same. Ikaba Koyi, BBC News.